Hey guys, welcome to MyAirbags. I'm Eli, and today we're going to take out the airbag module out of this Ford Fusion. First, move the seats all the way back. Both front seats, move them all the way back. The next step is to go ahead and start removing this side paneling right here. And it comes off with just using some force to get in between here. You could use a plastic flathead, or you could also use a metal flathead to gently go ahead and put your flathead in there and start pulling it back. Once you have popped it open, pop the first or two open, you can go ahead and start taking out the rest. They kind of pop right off with some force, and that comes off just like that. I'm gonna go ahead and do the right side as well, and this one is gonna just come off without a screwdriver or a flathead, and I'm gonna go ahead and just pop the rest right off. It comes off, and as you can see, there's these tabs that hold it, so they'll pop right off as you go ahead and remove it. I'm going to go ahead and put these outside of the car so they don't get in the way while I work with the rest of the paneling. I'm going to go ahead and start taking off the side paneling here as well. Now it comes off just like we did this strip here. It just comes off if you gently just put some pressure to the side here and pull outwards. You may need to use a good amount of pressure to pop it right up. Once the first or two come right off, at that point it becomes much easier throughout the whole paneling. You can just maneuver it from top to bottom and just keep popping the tabs off. And it goes all the way to the back. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing in the back as well. And this is the back part of that same panel. I usually start from the bottom and work my way up like that. There's one tab. Once the first couple pop off, it gets pretty easy. You can use a flathead or just your fingers to go ahead and pop the rest right up. And once I have all the tabs popped off, I'm going to go ahead and maneuver this out. And you're going to want to take it right out of the car just so you have more room to work with. You'll need it. Next step, I'm going to go ahead and start removing this trim and paneling here as well. First, this panel, followed by this trim over here will be removed. I'm going to lift this armrest right up, get it out of the way. I'm going to take my power drill and use the 7mm to go ahead and take out these bolts right over here. There's one on each side holding the paneling. Make sure you don't lose these, put them somewhere safe. Once you remove the two screws on the sides, go ahead and start removing the paneling, starting with the front here. You can get right under here with your fingers and start popping off the tabs gently. Be very careful with this paneling. It is plastic, unlike the ones we had on the side where we could be more rougher with it, more pressure. With this, be very careful. It's plastic, it can shatter if you're too forceful with it. Now once you have this off, underneath there is a little plug here for this button. You want to go ahead and remove it right here. If you want to go ahead and squeeze that with your finger or with your nail, and that's what will let it slide right out. If you don't press that, it won't come out. You have to press that and it'll come right out just like that. Once you've got that off and unplugged, you want to go ahead and start removing this trim right here very gently. It is more fragile than the other paneling we've been dealing with, but it will come off easier. Just nudge it and work your way in. It will come off. Again, you see the tabs that are holding it in place. Once I've got that trim off, I'm gonna go ahead and again use my 7mm to take out these two screws right here. Again, put them somewhere safe so you don't lose them. Next thing we want to do once we have those screws out is to go ahead and take off these little tabs here. They are in there really well, so you may need to use that large flathead to apply some pressure here and pop it like so. There's one on each side. Once you have that tab popped off, this whole thing should be loose. It should come right off. You will still have some plugs attached here. This one big plug here, I'm gonna go ahead and take this plug right out. You wanna move that lever over and then it will come right out like so. This whole thing will then be free to take right out of the car. You're gonna need the room, so take it right out. The next part is gonna be this coin tray here. It comes off easily, but it's because I had already popped it right off here with the tabs that you're already familiar with. They came right out of there. You just pop it up like that. And you're gonna have the same plugs here. Go ahead and just begin removing them. Next, go ahead and use your 7mm again to take out this screw right here. And I have one more on this side as well. At this point, you want to bring out your 10mm, and what we're going to do is take out these two right here. Once I have those screws out up there, we're gonna go ahead and take out these side screws right over here using a 10mm. There's one more on the driver's side as well. Normally you want to go ahead and disconnect the battery anytime you're working with the airbag system. But with this case, these seats are powered, so we want to go ahead and remove the paneling first. Once we get down to the airbag module, at that point, I'll go ahead and disconnect the battery. So we're going to go ahead and move the seats forward because we have two more screws in the back part of the center console. So we'll move both seats forward. We've got the same kind of screws back here on both sides. So one on this side and one on the other side. It's also a 10mm. I'll go ahead and take that right out. Now those should have been the last screws that you encounter. Once you have those last two screws out and all the wires up front disconnected, you can go ahead and take up this center console right up, and there is the airbag module. It's bolted down nice and tight. It's plugged in at the front, and notice it's bolted down to the frame of the vehicle all the way on the floor, not on the carpeting, not on the seat, never on the seat or under the seat. At this point, I want to go ahead and disconnect the battery because we're going to remove the airbag module next. We never want to have the airbag module or the car powered up at all when we're removing it or moving it in any way. Always disconnect the battery when you're removing, installing, or doing anything with the airbag system at all. We're going to use a 10 millimeter. At this point, this is where you're going to need your pliers or something that you can get right to that screw right there that's holding down the negative. Right there. Once the positive and negative cables have been disconnected, go ahead and wait about 5 minutes or so before you start working on taking out the module. We're going to go ahead and take out the plugs first. You want to press down on this little tab right there. Press down on it, and then this lever should come right down like so. And it will come and unplug. We're going to do the same thing with this larger one. Press down on that tab right there, put the lever down, and unplug. Next, you want to go ahead and remove these 3 bolts using, again, the 10 millimeter. And now that you have it unbolted and disconnected, you can just take it right up. Okay, here's what you need to know. When the car gets into an accident, there's 3 main things that could be causing the light to be on: the airbags, the airbag computer module, and the seat belts. Any deployed airbags must be replaced with new airbags. You can buy a new airbag module. The problem is they cost up to a few $100s. Plus, you have to pay a dealership technician to go in and program it to your car. In other words, you have to marry the new unit to your car. Here at MyAirbags.com, we work closely with body shops, collision shops, and salvage rebuilders in all 50 states. Instead of buying a new airbag computer, we can actually reset your original airbag module. In other words, we clear it of all codes. And because it's original to your car, programming is not necessary. Seatbelts also deploy and they throw trouble code. Instead of buying expensive replacements, you can actually send in your seatbelts along with your module. Our seatbelt tanks are licensed and they hold an ATF certification. This means that after your seatbelts are rebuilt, they will work again as designed. They will deploy in another accident event. Right after I remove this airbag module, stick around and we'll take a peek at the seatbelts. If you want to know more, just click on the link in the description below, or just go to MyAirbags.com. Once you get your airbag module back from us, you should see an OK on top indicating that it was reset. You can go ahead and at this point, make sure the battery is disconnected from the car. Put the module back in and just do the reverse of what we just showed you here. Another problem you may have, most likely will have, we see it in 99% of the cases that get into accidents, the seat belts will also be bad. And I'm going to show you quickly where they are on this car as well. I'm going to start by removing this paneling here. And I'm going to go right up into the seatbelt paneling. I'm going to start removing it from here. Now, if you come with me to the back seat, I'll show you the rest. In the back seat, you'll be able to see better. You have your seatbelt here. It goes behind this paneling. And we just removed it from the front, so we'll go ahead and continue removing it from the back. It's held down with tabs, just like the front. Now if you come closer, you'll notice this unit here is called a pretensioner. Over in here, it plugs in. this seat, this part here is the mechanical part. This part here is a part that deploys. Now with this seat belt, it goes down into here, right into the floor. If we investigate further, you'll see that this seat belt is actually called a dual stage seat belt. I'll go ahead and take this up. Now this is the second part of the seat belt. You can see the plug here is just the same plug that is up here. It's all connected one unit up here and comes back down into the floor here. This part also deploys. Most of the newer cars have dual stage or triple stage seat belts. There's more than one plug, so that's how I know. On this one there's two plugs, so that's how I know that this one is a dual stage seat belt. There's the main pretensioner part, and then here we have the anchor pretensioner. It's this tube that you see right here. Right here. And you can remove it by removing these screws here. Again, you want to disconnect the battery anytime you're working with the airbags, the airbag module, or seat belts. Any part of the airbag system, you want to make sure the car is powered down before you remove any of these. You can also send these seat belts into us for a rebuild. We send them back within 24 hours. There's a warranty on it as well. Hey guys, if you're sitting there with a question in mind, go to MyAirbags.com and click on help. On there you can type in a keyword or a question, and most likely the right answer will pop up right for you. If it doesn't, we're always here on the phones. You can email us, chat with us, or you can even just text us. We're always here to help you, MyAirbags.com. Now's the time to give us a big like, subscribe to our channel. We have more videos just like this. Comment. I really enjoy reading your comments. This is Eli with MyAirbags.com. Save time and money on your next project.